Hello, friends. Today I am going to tell you about the decline of American power. Is it really the American power is declining? All across the world, what we have heard is that American power is declining. It's fast declining. America is losing its ground geopolitically, militarily, economically, politically, culturally, everything. Is it right? Can we say that? Right? So when we go back and see, since the end of the Second World War, America has been dominating the global liberal order very much. The global liberal order has been led by America since then. It is more than 7 decades that America has been doing it very successfully. It's spreading its values, democratic values, humanitarian values, all across the world. On the other hand, the socialist bloc led by USSR was also dominating the other bloc across the world, particularly in Eastern Europe. But to the best of America's benefit, by 1990s, the USSR broke down. With this, what has happened? The bipolar world has become a unipolar world. That's very important. And this unipolar world is led by America since then. I mean, 1990s onwards, it was America, the greatest superpower on this earth. So America was doing excellently well. There are crises that comes to any nation state, but besides having crises, America has been spreading its networks geopolitically excellently well. It's done now. But when I look back at America now, after the economic crisis of 2008, what we have seen is that gradually America has been losing its, pace of development, pace of influence across the world. And more surprisingly, the challenge this time for America has come from Asia. It's no other than China. So China has been challenging America today across the world. When you look at any kind of a discussion among the Western powers, the concern today is no other than China. It used to be USSR once, but today it is China. Why is it happening? China is sleeping giant. The red dragon has woken up today. After joining the WTO, right, China has multiple benefits of globalization. China has become the manufacturing hub of the whole world. That's the biggest benefit for China. It's a vast country with a huge economic force, huge labor force. And more importantly, the very striking thing about China is that labor cost in China is very low. So most of the big multinational corporations, including the American ones, have landed up in China for all its manufacturing jobs. So China has become rich not because of its own effort, but because of the effort taken by the Western multinational corporations, particularly from America. So why China has become powerful today? It is because of America and the rest of the West, including India, right? So when you look at this kind of a geopolitical changing power structure, America has been declining its strength very fast. But to say so, we cannot also conclude that America has lost its ground completely. Let me get back to one very recent, incident or a saga of tragedy, that is COVID 19. With the start of COVID 19 in 2020, what we have seen is that there is an open struggle, open power competition between America and China. All over the Western world, China has been blamed as the carrier of that virus and spreader of that virus, which China directly, denies. In this COVID-19 period, what we have seen, is that China has been able to contain the virus, unlike the so called Western powers, wherein we all used to believe that there is a very robust health system. But it is not so. America has registered the highest number of COVID casualties. With these saga, what we have seen is that China has maintained its economic pace very well, right? If we look at the growth of the Chinese economy today, it's very fast. At the same time, even American economy is also not falling, right? So another two, three incidents, if we look at, instances, if we look at, one is America's withdrawal from Afghanistan. That's a very significant one. See, America had led the global war against terrorism in 2001 when George Bush Jr. was the president of America. And then America accused that regime of Taliban that was ruling Afghanistan from 1996 to 2001 that you are hiding the mastermind of global terror attack, the heart of America. It's no other than Osama bin Laden the Great. Then the regime in Afghanistan refuses, and America led NATO forces attacked Afghanistan and dethroned the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. With this, America brought back, a new system of democratic government under Hamid Karzai, right? So America had, ruled Afghanistan indirectly by sitting at the heart of Afghanistan for more than 2 decades. It's a history, in fact. It has re-established American, Afghanistan civil society. People have realized the dream of having a democratic, legitimate government in Afghanistan, right? So when America left Afghanistan by 2021 August, the whole world was surprised to see that the Taliban that America threw out from power, had come back immediately after America left. And America quietly handed over power to the Taliban. It was so surprising, so saddening that after Hamid Karzai, the gentleman who was ruling Afghanistan as a democratically elected leader, Ashraf Ghani, had to flee the country. So sad. After hundreds and thousands of appeals from Ashraf Ghani, America had left, right? Without listening to the democratic voices, humanitarian voices of Afghanistan. And these Taliban had taken over. And now Taliban is ruling. Many in international politics consider this incident or this saga as America's declining of power. And if we see the instances, once America has left, China has immediately got into, the Taliban ruled Afghanistan to fill in the power vacuum. What is this? What is it happening? And when we look at the war in Libya today, when we look at the war in Syria today, when we look at the disturbances in other parts of Africa and other parts of Middle East, say in Iraq also, right? So what we see is that America is gradually withdrawing. And many in international politics, policymakers, experts, and pundits say that America is now concentrating in Indo-Pacific, wherein America is seeing a rising power called China challenging the entire Western liberal order in every single day. So we have seen Quad, America, Australia, Japan, and India, 4-member group. We have seen AUKUS recently, that is Australia, UK, and America. So why is it all that happening? Is America threatened by China? When America is raising its voice against Chinese authoritarian regime and its repression of minorities, democratic rights in, say, Taiwan, South China Sea, Xinjiang province, and in Hong Kong particularly, is China listening to the voices and protests from the West? Of course not. Why China will listen to that? The man in Beijing today, Xi Jinping, is a very, very powerful man. He has been considered today as the most powerful Chinese leader after Mao Zedong, who founded the People's Republic of China in 1949, 1st October, and the legendary Deng Xiaoping. So, after that, only it is Xi Jinping who has been consolidating power very fast and very well. And even in 2017, he removed the constitutional limits of China's presidency. So he is now considered as the lifetime president of China. With this, America will be having more challenges from China. And to add to that, if we look at the recent and the current war in Afghanistan, Ukraine, what is happening there? Russia attacked Ukraine on 24th of October. Whole Western world has failed to stop a man called Vladimir Putin, another threat to the global liberal order. NATO's expansion, European Union's expansion, all coming together have compelled Vladimir Putin to attack Ukraine. After having constant appeal from Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, the Western world has only given economic aid and military aid. They are all keeping quiet. The poor Ukrainian army is fighting the huge Russian army, which people are saying is, David versus Goliath. What is happening? It's a complete human tragedy. Whole Western world is watching quietly, only giving aid. Is this kind of an aid is going to stop Vladimir Putin, another monster on this earth? Absolutely not. So by looking at all this, right, what we can say is that, is America now scared of people like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping in Beijing? It seems so. And today President Joe Biden, though he has been, openly coming up with a diatribe against all these people, those who are authoritarian ruler on this earth, but a physical, assertion of forces is missing from America. Maybe America is thinking, why to engage in another unnecessary war, right? So when we look at all these instances, many in international politics are saying that American power is declining very fast. It's a very debatable topic. Let me conclude by saying that America is a superpower, is a comprehensive superpower as of today. Its power is not going to go simply like this, right? America has seen many economic crises in the rise of its power. China hasn't seen even one. Just remember that, right? So China is just in the initial stages of its projection of power, right? I'm not talking about Vladimir Putin. No one knows what could happen. We had seen the breakdown of USSR, the most powerful socialist country on this earth in the 1990s. America has fallen and risen, right? America has, fallen and risen and had experienced the economic crisis on its soil and across the world. America has survived. And despite having all the crises, America has projected its power very well through 2 world wars, and now probably we could say another world war that is taking place in Ukraine, right? So it is very premature to conclude today that America is declining very fast. Definitely America's power projection is changing, focus is changing, right? So we cannot simply say that America the global liberal order is simply declining. It is not so. We have to wait and watch, right? It is a capitalist world, it's a global capitalist world. It would rise very fast. No one knows what could happen in another 10 years. Yeah, China might become the, fastest growing economy in the world, or maybe the economic superpower in the world, but America will not sit back. America will also keep rising, right? And as I have told you, and I will again tell you, that China is at the initial stages of its power projection. And if we look at the latest, incident of power clash in Solomon Island also, wherein China has already opened, has got an agreement to open its base there. This could be the second one after Djibouti in the Horn of Africa. We could see a helpless Western world, though it has protested, right, at Honolulu, at, Solomon Islands, but it did not make a difference. Finally, Solomon Islands government has gone ahead with China, right? So in South Pacific, China is trying to build its influence. As in the other parts of the Pacific, America is very strong with, India, Japan, Australia, and America herself. So what we could see is that China is also trying to expand its base, whether it is through One Belt, One Road, or through any other, security arrangements or bilateral agreements with the rest of the world. But do you think America and the rest of the global world, liberal world, will also be sitting and quietly watching it? Of course not. So it is a very, very debatable topic. We'll be definitely discussing on this even in my upcoming videos. So keep watching me. It's a very interesting topic. But finally, let me tell you, America is not going to decline. It is going to be one of the most powerful power on this planet. And it will remain so. And I strongly believe in this. Thank you so much.